Hi there. Can we please quickly talk about something? Don't be scared. It doesn't take long and it won't hurt. I promise. That's me trying to be funny in English. Tea bags, coffee filters, all of these like flimsy materials we love to upcycle in our junk journals. They are really, really great, but also a little bit hard to handle sometimes when it comes to transferring an image to such a material. What if I would tell you that I found out a method to transfer any digital image to a tea bag, a coffee filter, a layer of a napkin, or any other like flimsy material without the need of putting the material itself into your printer, and with that also without the danger of ruining your printer. Let's quickly think about this, how we would do this like normally without having seen this video. You would probably take a piece of paper, this is just normal copy paper, and then you would take your tea bag. This is just the tea bag where I have, I had my tea, I dried the tea bag, then I have emptied it and flattened it a little bit and removed the rest of the tea. But here's obviously, of course, still a little bit of tea left, which can be a problem if you would put this into your printer. That is one thing I would say is not so good for the printer. And then we would probably take some tape and tape the tea bag to the paper and then run this whole stuff through our printer. The tea would probably land in the printer, which is obviously not good, and this is not totally attached to the paper, and then it could happen that this tears and you have a ruined printer in the end. Another possibility would be to spray an adhesive, which is, one of these non-permanent adhesives, to the paper, put the tea bag on here and run that through your printer. Then you wouldn't have the problem that it is hollow under the tea bag. But when you then later on try to remove the tea bag from the paper, it can happen that the tea bag tears after you've taken it out from your printer. What if I would tell you that I found a method to do this whole thing without the need of putting this stuff into your printer and without the danger of ruining your printer? Yes, you need to either buy or take something from your stash. Yes, it is a little bit some kind of a fancy material, but I think it's easier and also cheaper to buy or take something like this instead of buying a new printer. So this video is, something where you need something that you perhaps don't have at home yet, which you have to buy for this project. But I wanted to share this because I know that there are many people out there who want to make more from their digital papers, and this is the perfect thing, because then with this you can transfer any digital image to a tea bag or a similar material. Let that sink in for a second. I don't want to sound arrogant when I show you something like this. I'm just really proud and I want to share this with you because, since I found it out, I can't sleep anymore. I need to share this with you. So I'm really hoping that this is an idea for you as well. And I will show you what you can get before we talk about this. You can get, and I take a white paper to demonstrate this, you can get the coolest prints or transfers, or how do you want to call that, even of the most detailed images. I have taken some images from my paper collection, which is called VERGESS dich nicht, and I have printed that out on this special surface. I will talk about that in a second, and of course I will demonstrate how this whole thing works. And if you know the paper collection, you know, and you can already also see it here, even if you don't know the paper collection, that it has many details. And please look at this face. I mean, how freaking detailed is this? Look at all of these details of these half-timbered houses. This is just amazing. And we have, at the same time, these cool, grungy areas here, which we probably won't get if we put this into the printer. Look, I mean, what the heck is this? This is, my mind is still completely blown somehow, even if you get something like this, where these little, yeah, let's call it grunge areas are in the face of this woman. You can still see what it is. Yes, this is more abstract than the others, and it's a little bit uncontrollable what you get. But look, I mean, how would you do this without this video? I'm really hoping that you don't know another alternative, because that would be very embarrassing for me. But let's talk about this and how I made this. This is just some leftover. I made some collage photo with this, but even these, like, yeah, really abstract things I really like for using in my junk journals. So, and oh, by the way, I also found out 2 other things in the German video. A little sneak peek. We will also talk about this. And this is, especially this, it's like a little mind-blowing. Not only a little. So let's do this. What do you need for this? You need a sticker sheet, which is clear. I unfortunately can only tell you that this works from Photo Paper Direct, which is called Clear Film Self-Adhesive. I haven't had the time to try out other brands because I'm pre-defemmerembering with Barbara at the moment. You know, defemmerember is really close, and we have to discuss different things for the preparation of December. That's the reason why I have only tried this, but I know that some of you also already have bought this, so perhaps you want to try it out and transfer some images to some tea bags. I will also give you some tips how you can, well, that is basically only one tip, how you can find out if your clear sticker sheet works for this technique or not. So let's do this. I take this, I go to my printer and I print out whatever I want on this sticker sheet. This is, by the way, for inkjet printers. I don't know if this is available for laser printers. Probably yes, but I don't know if then the technique works. But what I know is what you can do to try it out without ruining everything or without being disappointed. So once you have printed your things, you can then start with the technique. So I have printed out some cards from my Ich vergesse dich nicht ephemera pack. This ephemera pack is linked down below for you in the description box. In the ephemera pack, there are these cards which are basically the full pages, but in a smaller scale. You can take whatever you want. I have chosen this because I want to show you that even with those tiny things, I mean, look at these tiny details here, and also the faces are here pretty small, but I want to show you that you can get a really good result even with those small prints. And I also find it easier to handle when you take this and you have already cut this into smaller sections. Then it's easier to do. The whole technique is easier to do than having a full sheet on your desk. So let's perhaps start with this. We take this. Oh, and first of all, you can try out if this technique works with the sticker paper you have at hand. Take a little corner, take some regular water, and just put a little bit of water on here. I mean, with a little bit, I mean just in a small area, but you want to have a little puddle. And once you have that, you can immediately see if the sticker sheet you have works or not. Can you see how the ink is disappearing here? When you now take something, for example, a cloth, and you go over this, you can see that the ink is removed completely. That is good. If you see that, your sticker sheet will probably work for this. And when you touch this, then it's sticky. If you have both of these signs, or how can I say that it removes with water and that it gets sticky, then it will probably 99.9% work, because that is exactly what this sticker paper is doing. What we do then is we take this and put this out of our way, because we know once this gets in contact with water, the ink gets removed. So we will put this aside so that we don't accidentally spritz to the image now. So then we take a tea bag or a coffee filter or whatever. And when you have, especially with tea bags, you have this phenomenon that, I mean, it's not a phenomenon, it's a logical thing, but you have one side where no tea rests are. And here on the other side, this is obviously the inside of the tea bag, you have these little, like, you know, crumbles of the tea. You can now decide if you want to remove some of those so that it doesn't get too grungy. I like to go over this like so that it, yeah, that the loose pieces get removed, but that some of them are on here, still on here. And later on, when we have finished this, the tea will be permanent on this thing, so it will get stuck to the material. But what I find important is that you put the tea bag to your desk now with the rest of the tea facing you. That means here on the top, there's the rest of the tea. And this side, where no tea is going to touch the table. Glass or something like this, or a silicone mat would be really helpful for this, because we want to spritz this now with water. This is just to make the tea bag wet, obviously, on the one hand, and on the other hand, it helps that you can stretch it a little bit, like so that these extreme crumbled areas, these little folds, get a little flat so that the result doesn't get too extremely grungy. So we want to have this like pretty flat, and this helps a lot. Then we take this off, hold it with one hand, with the other hand we take this, put it to the table, and now we just take this and put it on here as fast as possible and as flat as possible. Then we take a little more water. Don't freak out when it does something like this. That doesn't matter. We'll get flat again in a second. And then we pat this really carefully. Don't go over this too much. Just very, very gently with nearly no pressure. We just want to make sure that this surface of the sticker paper and the tea bag get somehow contact and that they get one. I want to soak the layer which is on this sticker sheet into the tea bag somehow. You can feel when it's finished, when you feel a little slime on your finger, and you can also test if it is already ready to peel it off by taking a corner and just lift it off carefully. And when you see that your sticker sheet gets empty, you know that the image is already on the tea bag. And now you can very carefully peel this off. And when you see that it is not white yet, just put it back and wait a few more seconds, or add a tiny little bit more water and then peel it off. But you want, if you look here in the corner, that it gets white and that it then, you know, is empty, because the image is now here on the tea bag. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So then the challenge is to dry this without sticking it to the table. I found out if you hold it like this and then let it go to the table like this so that it has a little bit of contact here, and then you can take your heat tool, because then it can't fly away when you dry it. And then you can easily dry it. This takes only a few seconds because the material is so thin. But please don't lay it to your table completely, because then it will stick there. Yeah, you want to hold it in the air somehow and then dry this whole thing. Please make sure that you don't burn your fingers with your heat tool. You could even, of course, take some clamps and hang it somewhere and let it air dry. That also would be possible, but I do this here so that it goes a little faster for the video. And when it's dry, the stickiness has gone. And there's another advantage when this is completely dry, because with this stuff that we got from the sticker sheet, it also gets more sturdy somehow, because this is somehow now, yeah, like a different material. Because listen to this and listen to this. This is somehow, yeah, nearly like glycine now or so. And if I now take this and put that somewhere, for example, on a blank page in my journal or a coffee dyed paper or whatever, you can put that wherever you want, then I have this amazing print. And even the tiniest details in the background, like this writing there, you can still read this. And that is, for me, just mind-blowing. And look at this grunge. I mean, look at this guitar. How cool is that? I could look at this the whole day. Of course, this shows up really well on white paper, but let's take something that is probably, yeah, more realistic, a realistic example when it comes to junk journaling. This is just an old book page. And when I place this here, imagine I would glue this down here. How freaking cool is this? Let's say you want to glue it down here to your junk journal. Can you see this is a page in a junk journal? It can be any surface, of course. I want to mute the writing a little bit. That's why I put a little bit of white gesso on here. But of course, that's optional. You can do what you want. But I found out that I like it better when the writing is not so extremely visible. So let's prepare this really quickly, and then let's make another one and stick that down here. So I have to think about this for a second. Which one shall we use? I think we will use this one here. So let's take another tea bag. Let's make sure that the tea is facing us. Here's nearly no tea left, but I think it has to go this way. Let's make it wet. Just stretch it for a few seconds. Let's lift it off. Take this. Throw this on here. And you can see how quick this is. I mean, hopefully you can see it. So then, let's add a little bit more water. Then we pat this until we feel on our finger that it gets the tiniest little bit sticky. And you can do this with layers of napkins. You can do this even with the single layers of a paper towel, for example. Coffee filters would work. So let's see if it already, yeah, ready to, yeah, okay, let's go for it. You can see here is a little bit of the ink left. But even if you have something like this, don't freak out. Here's enough on the tea bag to make this work. And of course, you can let this dry and use the sticker itself, because this is, of course, still a sticker. You can now let this dry, and then it is not sticky anymore. And you can, for example, stamp on this or write on this with a permanent marker or so. And of course, also this little leftover from the print you could use to transfer. I will show you what I made in the German video. You can just take a little piece of a tea bag, transfer that. This looks really unspectacular when it is like separated, but imagine this in a collage. That is a really cool collage photo, of course, so don't throw that away. So let's take our book page. Since this is sticky now, we can just take it, and with the, here is now the top where the tea also is, and here is now the stuff which was touching the sticker sheet. So of course we have to make sure that we put it on in the same way we have taken it off from the other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's not upside down or something like that. It's just like I have taken it off from the sticker sheet, I can put it on here. And then, I should have left it on there a little bit longer. Can you see how, translucent, it's translucent, of course, because it's a tea bag, but the print itself turned out a little too translucent for my taste. I should have left it on there a little longer, but I hope that you can see how amazing this looks. So we make sure that this is completely dry, and then we can enjoy this. Look, I know this is a little more abstract, but you can still see what it is. Why is this more abstract than if I would take this and show you that on this? That is an easy answer, because this is white. Here we have the writing of the book page, and the image here is also not so detailed like this one. Here are these little music sheets and so on, and the writing of the book page, of course, is mixing now with the print because of the translucency of the material. So of course this gets more abstract, because we see the writing of the book page mixed with the print. But I love this. I can't tell you how much I love this. This is amazing, especially if you want to have a background for something. Do it like this, and you have a really subtle but still a recognizable image. Another thing that you could do, now I want to show you something that I found out just a few minutes ago in the German video. I want to show you what this is. This is mind-blowing. I have to say, even more mind-blowing than the rest of this, the possibilities we have with this technique. But I have to say, these are just some test pieces. Here, something happened which was unexpected and like a happy accident or so. This was then a little more planned, but still not, it's not a masterpiece, it's just a test piece. But I want to share the possibility you have with the tea bag and the sticker sheet, because here, the sticker sheet is still under the tea bag. So the sticker sheet is on here with the tea bag, because of course you can say, I take this image, where are my scissors, and I want to cut this in half so that we have two. You can say, I want to have a sticker with the feeling and the texture of a tea bag, but I want to leave it as a sticker, because when you transfer the thing, to the tea bag and you dry it, then this is not a sticker, of course. This is just then the tea bag with the image. If you glue it, here I have, by the way, another example with the book page. Same thing like what we did a second ago. When you do this, you have sticked it down, but it is not sticky anymore. This is not a sticker anymore. Yeah, but you can have a sticker, which is a tea bag, or a tea bag, which is a sticker. Do you know what I mean? So let's do that. And let's try something with this here first, because at the same time, while I show you that, I want to show you how you can get rid of these straight edges, because it can, of course, be that you think, this is a rectangle, I don't like rectangles, I'm not like Barbara at 49 Frankflies, I don't need everything as a rectangle. I'm sorry, Barbara. It's all because of this DICH. By the way, you can buy these cups in my shop here on YouTube. Just click the little shop icon and then you can buy them there for DICH if you want. So what to do if we want to get rid of these straight edges and turn this thing into a sticker which looks like a tea bag with the image on it, of course. We take water, spritz that here. We want to make sure that we don't get spritzes of the water here, because then the image will go away. Then we take our finger or a paintbrush, and we dab the water on here, on this edge, so that the edge is not a straight line anymore, but something really like abstract or so. After a few seconds, you can feel that you can already push the ink away, like so. And this you can now do, of course, as extremely as you want. Just experiment a little bit. You could even, and I'm just thinking if I want to do that, yeah, let's do that, because then I can show you how I got this here, because this little quote, a story, it's under the sticker sheet. You can still read it and it looks like embedded into I don't know, the tea bag. Can you see? I will show you how I did that. We decide for a position. Oh no, here I got some water onto the, oh no. Let's decide for a position for the quote, perhaps even here, where this little accident happened. Yep. You can either take a Q-tip or a little piece of a cloth or so, and then just remove with a little bit of water the ink there where you want to put the quote. I do it here now because I accidentally got some water exactly here, but you can decide for the position, of course, where it makes sense for you or the arrangement of the thing you want to make. So then we can just take this away. I want to have it like a little, yeah, like a little negative brush stroke or so. Can you see? And then we can just be happy about this. We have our frame. We have this space for the quote. You could even, and I'm just thinking if I want to do that, here it happened. Here it happened already. You can even take some, oh, that looks good, some water splatters. Oh, no, I have dried my thing here. And splatter to this. Wait a little bit. Then take a dry cloth, go over this very carefully, don't do this. Yeah, just carefully take the water off and with that the ink. Then it gets completely transparent in these areas. Can you see these white things? Of course, that is white because the this stuff behind the sticker is white, but it gets then there completely transparent in a second. So we take this, put this aside for a second so that we don't accidentally spritz to that, because now we want to take another tea bag, water, make this wet, stretch it, and I'm just thinking, what happens if I lift this up like so? Can I make my life perhaps a little easier? Can I put this here and then just fold this back without the need of holding this in the air the whole time? That's even easier. But you can already see you have to try this out a little bit and find a way to handle this, which is, you know, comfortable for you. You can now, of course, also say, I take this and make some texture here, because in this case, we want to leave the tea bag on the sticker sheet, because as I said, I want to make a sticker which has the texture of a tea bag. And of course, now you can carefully bring in some texture here, but please make sure that you don't move the tea bag material too much, because then it's like wiping off the ink. Yeah, if you would take your finger and push the tea bag material like so, then the ink would go with the tea bag material as well, and that is not what we want, obviously. But especially here on the edges, we can of course bring some texture on here. And of course, what did I just say? I mean, who am I? Please experiment with this, and if you want to push the ink around, then please just do it, yeah, and go for it. But in this case, I don't want to ruin my print here. I want to, of course, see what is on this thing here later. And that's why I don't do that here in the middle. So, is this good? I think I like that. Then we take our heat tool, or you can also let that air dry. Oh no. Oh yes. Sorry. I just thought I skipped a step. So we dry this. And with the stickiness of this stuff, the tea bag gets now sticked to the sticker and it will not come off later. I mean, this texture is just amazing. It's not completely dry here yet, but once it's dry, we can take this and we have a tea bag sticker then. And that gives a ton of possibilities. Here I have taken, and that was something that, yeah, happened somehow in the German video, because accidentally, or let's say by a coincidence, I had my grandchildren ephemera pack, or some printouts from that ephemera pack here on my table. You can find this in my Etsy shop as well. It's called Grandchildren Ephemera Pack. It's different, as you can see, images of grandchildren, black and white and in color. And I thought, what would happen if I would have something like this and just stick that to such an image? Can I then see the image through that? I couldn't, because the image on the tea bag was too dark and not translucent enough. And then I came to the idea, after I had sticked it on, so this is just something like this, sticked to such an image. Then I came to the idea that I easily, with water, can remove the layer of the tea bag to make this visible. And then when this is dry, it's like normal again and not sticky anymore. Does it make sense to take such a child here as well? I think I want to try that to be able to compare this with this, because I made some thoughts. Here on the tea bag, I will put in the video footage of the German video so that you can see what I had there. That was a portion of one of the cards from the Ich vergesse dich nicht ephemera pack with one of the half-timbered houses. It was really dark, and I guess that the contrast was not enough. Also here where the hair is, and here there's the ink from the house, from the image of the house. But here in the background there is really light color, not so much ink, I guess. I mean, compare this and this. If I would put this over the eyes of such a child, it would probably turn out exactly like this, so that I can't see anything through it. But what if I take this and put that on here, so that then perhaps the eyes come through here? Can we see that then again? I don't know. We will find that out together now. And what I also found out is something that you could do as an interactive element for your journal. I will put the German video footage in here again. So what you can see now is from the German video. There I had also taken one of the grandchildren images, as you could see on the example you have just seen, you know, what I have shown you. And then when I had sticked the tea bag sticker over it, I could see that there's not enough contrast. But then I came to the idea, what if I take a light and hold that behind this whole stuff? Can I then perhaps see the image? And as you can see here from the German footage, you can see it. And that is something, I mean, I'm totally in love with that idea. I mean, make a journaling card which looks really unspectacular at first, because you have something where you can't see anything or you can't see what it shall be, and make a little note next to the journaling card or on the back of the journaling card or wherever, that you have to take a light and put that behind this image. And everyone has it, his or her phone in his or her hand, and can take the lamp from the phone and just hold it behind the image. And I guess that even the light from the screen of your phone could be enough to make the image visible. And that is just mind-blowing in my eyes. That is just a really cool interactive idea. So let's try it here. And let's have in mind, this is not completely dry yet. Let's have in mind what we found out with the other thing. We found out that the contrast is not big enough. Oh, and we need a quote here. Oh my goodness, now I nearly forgot that. We need something to stick behind here, because we made this little area for the quote. Now you could of course write something here, or you could also take a quote that you have from somewhere. Creativity. So this is just from this, to be honest, this is from a new ephemera pack I'm just working on. I have had the test print already on my table here, so you can take whatever you want. That doesn't have to be a sticker, it can be just a word. You can take a piece of paper and write something, no matter how you want to do that. Take it off, hold it like so, take your little word or quote or whatever, place it here where this little area is that we made for it. Be happy that you can read it. Don't freak out if you can't read it now, because in a second I will show you what you can do if you can't read it, if this is not translucent enough to make it readable. Then we take this. Oh, I want to have, oh my goodness, I want to have this red sun there over her eye. Oh, yes. Oh, look, I mean, the contrast. Oh, the contrast of the tea bag sticker and the image below just has to be big enough. You need more translucent areas than I had here, and then it works. But this is gorgeous as well. But this is more what I was, oh my goodness. This is more what I was looking for. How, oh my goodness, I want to hang this to my wall. Please tell me that you like this. That is mind-blowing. Okay, let's make this a little more like, you know, like a finished piece. We can, of course, now tear this off a little bit. I like when you can see the different layers here, but of course that's optional. Let me quickly take this to my sewing machine and tell you that it is absolutely no problem to sew through these materials. I mean, tea bag and paper, that is obviously no problem, but also sewing through the sticker paper is no problem. You could now say, this is not visible enough, it's not translucent enough here. Absolutely no problem. Take either your finger, or I would suggest to take a paintbrush, because then it's more controllable what you do. Take your water again, spritz that to your table or have it in a glass or so, and then go over this. Then we can easily remove this, and you can even go over this with like the back of a paintbrush, because the sticker material itself is now protecting this little quote sticker. This tea bag material here, that will then get really stiff when it's dry, and you have a similar look like here with these, you know, this texture here. And of course, you could now also reveal more of the image which is behind here, but I don't know if I want to do that here. That is what I did here, because here I couldn't see the eyes and the rest of the face of this girl so well like we can see it here. And because of that, I removed the tea bag here with exactly the same method like I did it here a second ago. Shall we do that here, or will we then ruin it? I mean, I can always print it out and do exactly the same thing again. And the good thing is, I can't ruin my the image of this girl now because of the sticker paper. I mean, I would not scratch over this with something sharp. And I think it's also a good idea to, oh, look. I mean, only this. I mean, let's do that in portions so that we can see where we could stop. You can see it now in like real time. I can see it later when I edit the video, because there are several possibilities here now, of course. You could say I do this only on the eye. This already now looks perhaps a little Halloweenish, doesn't it? Ah, but oh mein Gott, wie geil ist das bitte? I'm so sorry. I have to talk a little bit German. I mean, this is extreme for me, because the focus with the eye for me is already here on the red circle, and it is a little distracting for the eye, for my eye, or the eye of the person who looks at this, that this is also now somehow a focus, because both of the eyes are now showcased, but in a different way. So, but it would be a possibility. I mean, for a Halloween project, I mean, do you know what I mean? Let's do this more. Let's reveal more of the face. I tried to go along the hairline. Let's try, I mean, you could stop here as well. Let's make a little hole here on her cheek. And what you also could try is, here I want to know how it looks on the hair. You could even try to make like decoration for the hair, little holes which then look in the end like, yeah, like she was wearing like little flowers or so in her hair. I think I like this, but if I would do this again, I would stop way earlier. Yeah, I mean, you know, possibilities. We still have the other half of this. First, I thought I wanna turn this into a tea bag sticker as well. So same like here. Ooh, but what I also want to try is, let's take my other phone here. Ah, that works here as well. Of course it does, but look, you can now make this even more visible with a light behind. Depending on how close you put the light, can you see? I mean, what is this? This is so much fun to play around with this. I mean, wonderful. First I thought I want to turn this into something like this as well, but now I'm thinking, can we perhaps find something out here in this video as well? I'm always a little, I'm feeling a little weird when I say, oh, what am I doing? I found out something in the German video, blah, 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 and now you will see something here, blah, blah, blah. I feel a little weird because, of course, I want to find out things in the English videos as well. I mean, we already found something out with doing this, yes, but I want to try something else, which I haven't tried yet. So let's take this and let's not turn this into a sticker, but let's transfer this to the tea bag. And oh my goodness, have you seen that? That was easy. Lift it up, put this thing underneath, and then just let it come back. Way easier than lift it off up completely. I hope you know what I mean. Because by coincidence, I have some tags here. I made these with some texture paste the other day. And I just thought, is it perhaps possible to take this and put it on here? I mean, it's a little small, but we can always cut this to the right size later. I have just put some texture paste through a stencil here. And I want to know if it is possible to take the tea bag with the transferred image and stick that to the tag without any additional glue, like we have sticked it to the book page a second ago, or a few minutes ago. I'm sorry. Did I say that it doesn't take long to talk about this? I'm so sorry. I think I will come into problems with Barbara again, because she will again tell me that my videos are too long. I'm really sorry. Why? Why? This didn't work so well, look. I mean, I can use this as a, still use that as a sticker, but why didn't it transfer so well? I mean, what is this now? Look. Huh? You can imagine what would happen if I would stick this down. You can also imagine that I don't want to do that, because this is the baddest result I got so far. I will not use this. Now I'm a little bit disappointed. What happened here? we will let this dry. If you have something like this, I mean, this is nice collage fodder, sticker collage fodder. Yeah, it's really abstract now, of course, but please don't throw this away. You can still use that as a sticker for a background or so, but okay. Let's try something else instead. Let's try to take this. And I also want to see if I can then get the texture of the paste. We probably need to do this very carefully. I don't want to ruin this, obviously. So it's still a little bit damp, but it works. Oh my goodness. It's on here. It's not hollow or something, it's just here, it's a little bit damp, but it's on there. I want to see if I can make a nice background somehow, but for that I want to have something with more color than this has, but nothing which is like this concrete. I want to have something more abstract. I'm just searching for something like that. Let's try that. Let's try to put this on here and let's see how that then looks on this stenciled background. It's a little bit archival ink. I guess this would work with any other ink as well, but this is what I have at hand here at the moment. It goes too much into the creases. Also, it's the same ink, but just a smaller ink pad. Perfect place for focal point. Little sneak peek. Of something coming very soon. Perfect. I hope, I really hope that you are as amazed as I am by the possibilities that this gives us. I'm really hoping that you will run either to your stash where you store your sticker paper, or perhaps you want to run to Amazon to buy some of the sticker paper. And if you do that with the affiliate link I have in the description box, I'm of course really happy and thankful, because that brings me a little bit of additional money, which helps this channel to be here and to, yeah, it helps me to make more content for you, of course. And I'm so hoping that you like this and that you want to try this out. I have things to do now. Of course, I have to edit these videos, but to be honest, I want to sit here and try out more with these things but I can't. First I have to edit the videos and upload them. And I'm really, really hoping that you enjoy this and that you have time or make time to play around with this technique. Have fun with it and see you the next time. Bye bye.